Hello, everyone, and I am so pleased to welcome Tamalla Mallet. She's a really clear channel for spirit, and we've been doing some work together with one of her new contacts, which is very exciting. It was about autumn last year, I think, that you started channeling a new being that felt a bit different.
Mhm.
How would you actually describe that difference, do you think?
I would say that they're a higher octave. Like even now, like if I'm trying to connect to the wisdom and I want to talk, I can't because I can't get there from here,
Mhm.
which is,
Yeah.
I can't do it here. It immediately goes here and there, right? It's a third eye there. I'm using octave on purpose. I'm not saying a higher vibration
Hmm.
because all of the beings that I work with are high vibration.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're a higher octave of that vibration. And they're very specific. And so they've had me dictating it, like literally typing it. And when the information comes through, at first, remember, they would give me one or two words,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I can type, give me a sentence, I'll type the sentence. They're like, nope. So I was having to type in the beginning, right? One word at a time, and then two words, and then three
Mhm.
words. Now we've partnered together where it's a little easier and I can do some vocal transcriptions,
Yeah.
but still mostly it's written because that octave is just it's right here. Like it's not in my brain. It's right here.
It is a different kind of connection, isn't it? It's taken a
Totally different.
while to just get it really clearly established, but it's always a joy to hear from the wisdom. And
Hmm.
I'm just going to wave. I've kept a separate um, folder of the wisdom's teachings, which hopefully in the fullness of time will be a book. The wisdom has said this will be a book.
Yes. Hmm.
And, when I read what the wisdom has brought through and you send that to me, I always find it uplifting, always. And I find a lot of the pieces just literally open my channel as well. When I'm reading them, even though I'm reading words that have come through attached to an email, my own channel gets activated by what the wisdom is saying, which is not something that normally happens when you just read someone's channeled writings. The wisdom has been an absolute joy to connect with and very interesting to be able to ask questions of the wisdom,
Hmm.
which I've really valued. And the wisdom has given me different angles on things where it's almost like the wisdom can open your mind up in very practical ways where you've had a little bit of tunnel vision about things,
Hmm.
and then the wisdom comes in. You've asked your question and the wisdom says, yes, but look at this, and suddenly your mind is open and it's like, oh, of course, and suddenly it is
Hmm.
really clear. I think you need to be ready for the wisdom's guidance.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't think everyone's going to understand what the wisdom's talking about, but I do think it's in language that is clear and easy to understand. I just don't think everyone's quite ready to
Right.
embrace it yet. But then that's the case for channeling anyway, isn't it?
In general, I work my connection to source creator is with the singularity that we all originated from. It's not what the human earth plane calls God. It's the actual singularity that we all originated from. It is source creator.
Yeah.
And so that means in the book, the wisdom has called it the all that is, was, and ever will be.
Beautiful.
And so if we're asking for information from all that is, was, and ever will be, there's nothing else, right? There's nothing
Mhm.
outside of that.
Absolutely.
So we have access to anything and everything.
Yeah.
They do, right now I'm hearing they do want to remind us that they also never interfere with free will.
Yeah.
So they're never going to predict your future because you have
Mhm.
free will.
I have got a question for the wisdom, if the wisdom is ready to answer a question. I would like to know a bit more about timelines because you hear timelines being spoken about a lot, and I can feel a shift in the energy in recent months, even in recent weeks, and some things falling away very easily now on a personal level that would have held me stuck before. And I would like to ask, is this part of what is meant by timelines shifting when you can feel yourself moving forwards, letting go of the past so much more easily? Is that what is meant by timelines shifting?
That is the result of timeline shifting. And so we will explain for those who are interested timelines. Time is a web and it has all these interconnecting lines. And as you reach, and we say you, all humans, reach choice points, you can choose to go here or here or here. And once you make a choice and you're on a timeline, the others collapse. Now you're on this timeline and it may go to here. And you're here and you make a choice and now you're on this timeline and the others collapse. And from our perspective, that's how it works. And as you're shifting and changing those timelines, once you've made a choice, then what is available to you changes.
Mm.
And as what is available to you changes, the things that are no longer aligned to these new availabilities can fall away. Now, this is a complicated conversation that some of our high council members have taught on for an extended period of time. So we will say that to keep it simple for now, there was a timeline shift last November. There was also a timeline shift in February this year,
Mhm.
2026. And so those timeline shifts were collective shifts. Not all timeline shifts are collective, some are individual. These were collectives, meaning that a majority of humans that are in a body chose to go a certain timeline. And if you notice, not only are things easier for you, but some things may be different than you remember them. People may look different, places may look different, items that you own may be different or have a different place that they live in your home, so forth. Things can just be different. And in shifting timelines, what literally happens is the old timelines collapse. Those opportunities for choice no longer exist for you, and new opportunities for choice now are available. And so when things are easier to process, to let go of, to release, it is because you have done enough personal work to allow them to no longer resonate with who you're moving into being. And those things just fall away. They don't belong to you anymore. They're not part of who you have chosen now on this new timeline to be. Does that make sense?
That makes absolute sense. Thank you. And it's really interesting to be conscious of the process happening now and to know that you can feel it in yourself that there is no going back. In the past, it's happened, but it's been a long time after the event that you've reflected and said, oh, look, that was how it was then. That feels so different from how things are now. So it's happened before, but I don't think I've ever noticed it happening at the exact time it's happened. It's like, oh, okay, we've shifted. We've really shifted. I can feel it. I know it. And so it's beautiful confirmation that I'm not making it up. things have really changed. And it's a good thing, and I'm happy about that. I mean, I think it might be disconcerting for some people because they miss the things that they've left behind, perhaps. But I think we choose, ultimately, it's for a better outcome,
More aligned outcome.
a more aligned outcome. Something that suits us better as individuals and then as we connect with other people. I've definitely noticed it. Thank you. This year, my word of the year was authenticity. It's becoming ever more authentic to who I am in the world and letting go of anything that doesn't feel 100% authentic. And that feels really good. I'm enjoying it. So thank you.
That's wonderful. That's
Great.
wonderful.
Thank
And
you.
this is the time of clarity. It is the time of all things that are hidden are brought to light. And that's why we have been focusing on helping you understand the unseen world for the last few years, is because, and when we say we mean the entire High Council of Light. It's because as you are moving through this clarity, this awareness, this truth telling, you have the ability to integrate the information and continue to move forward, that you don't get stuck or hemmed in or pulled down by truths that are uncovered. They can simply be acknowledged as truth. Okay, yes, I see this, and now I'm making a choice. And your choice is whatever your choice is, to stay connected to this thing that is now brought to light, or to choose to separate yourself from it. And choices are not negotiable any longer. There was a period of time, again, where people could just sit in the flow and not make choices. They could be blindfolded, they could sing kumbaya. That is no longer the case. You're moving into the point of tipping into that unity consciousness opportunity, meaning you're coming up on a swell of movement towards unity consciousness, towards 5D. And in that opportunity, every being has to make a choice. It's not negotiable. You will either choose for the evolution or against the evolution. And as long as there are 50% plus one of humans who are making the choice for the evolution, then the evolution will occur. Now, if you miss this first time, it'll circle back again. So don't worry, it will continue to circle until you get there. That's why we tell you, we cannot tell you the time, but it will continue to spiral around until that 50% plus one chooses and you tip over into it. So the timeline shifts are helping, because what those do is they remove, again, opportunities that no longer serve you. So you're not, your mental resources, your emotional resources, your physical resources are not kept in those places that no longer serve you. You get to let that go. You get to reclaim that energy. You get to reclaim that emotional space and that mental space and that physical wellness, and then move as a whole being into your next state of being, which is that next choice. So you're no longer leaving parts of you behind. You are releasing and reclaiming your wholeness and moving forward. And so you're reclaiming your bandwidth, you're reclaiming your health and wellness, your focus, your clarity, your truth, your self expression, your creativity. all of the things that keep you in wholeness and in integrity are now coming closer into your environment because you're no longer in these states of illusion and delusion. Truth and clarity are the opposite of illusion and delusion. And so, as truth and clarity come in, it replaces the illusion and delusion. So then you are now in a place to make an actual choice. And actual choices put you in wholeness and in integrity. Does that make sense?
Makes complete sense. I say I can feel it happening and happening more quickly. You know, these are things I've been working on this stuff for about as long as you have, or maybe even slightly longer, but it's happening faster now.
Much faster.
It really is. The energy is speeding up. I can feel it speeding up, and the progress you can make as a human being having this experience is speeding up, which is really gratifying actually, because sometimes you did feel like, am I doing this for a reason? Am I ever going to see any results? That's been, at times I've thought that. I've done all this hard work, I've done all this hard healing. Am I going to see the fruits of my labor? And
Mm-hmm.
now I think we're getting the chance to see much more of that, of why we've done the work and having the experience that says, yeah, you are clearer now. You are able to access a greater bandwidth and do more than you could before and feel more peaceful. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you. Absolutely does make sense to me. And hopefully it will make sense to those listening who've been having this kind of experience but not had anyone to talk to about it. And they can talk to me and they can talk to Tamalla, and we're happy to hear from you. Is there anything else your guides would like to say, Tamalla, before we bring this session to a close?
So, as the wisdom, we would like to offer you the opportunity to understand that all this healing that you have done up until this point has been to get you to this point so that you can make these power filled choices. So that not only can you create the shift in the human condition, but you also can create the life that you desire. Each one of you holds within yourself a dream life that you've chosen for yourself, that you desire for your generations, for your children and grandchildren and their children and grandchildren. And this is why you have done all this healing, all this work, all this time and effort, is so that you can become not the way shower, but the chooser, so that you can stand at this opportunity of choice, which is the focused point of power. Your highest point of power is when you are at choice. And make that choice that's going to get you towards where it is you want to go. And as long as you continue to make those choices that are heading you towards where you want to go and implementing those choices, a choice requires action. So a choice is different from a decision. A decision is a thought, a choice is an action. And so as you're taking those actions and following through, moving you towards where you want to go, you are creating freedom for yourself. You are creating truth for yourself, simplicity for yourself, ease and flow and grace and gratitude and joy and healthfulness. All of the things that you desire in your life are created and manifested and embodied through your choice. And so each choice and action that you take is getting you there. So enjoy that. Feel rejoiced in those points of power. Acknowledge when you're there at that choice point and you're making a choice to go towards what you want, acknowledge that, be in gratitude, because that is the most powerful you will ever be, is in those moments of choice. Live in those moments and then follow through
Mm.
and do the next and the next and the next. We rejoice with you. We honor you and respect you. Lauren, we honor and respect your work in the world, for you are a powerful, generous being, and we are grateful for your service.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And that's where we'll leave it for today. But I think everybody can understand why I enjoy speaking with the wisdom so much, as the wisdom comes through Tamalla and has just brought so much clarity and made those choices easier and clearer, actually. Made it much more obvious. In fact, so obvious. Sometimes, Tamalla, sometimes you say, have you got any questions for the wisdom? And I can pretty much, as I'm forming the question, I can pretty much now hear what the wisdom's going to say as the answer, because I've tuned in now to how the wisdom explains things. And it's so helpful, really, really useful. So I'm looking forward to that book when the book's ready. And
Same.
I think it's going to help a lot of people, a whole lot of people. So thank you so much for coming on today. We'll make sure that the links to your website, my website, your channel, my channel, it's all there in the description so that people can get in touch with us if they want to work with our guides on whatever level they're ready. You can make differences in your own life, and the differences in your own life can ripple out and touch so many other lives. Follow
Yeah.
your guidance, make those choices. So, thank you.
Thank
I'll
you.
see you soon.
All right.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.